Hey everyone, welcome to 2014 North American Challenger Series, brought to you thanks in part to our friends at Coca-Cola. David Frick-Turley alongside me is Aiden Zyrene Moon. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I don't have to get a bowl cut.
Good.
Happy about that.
Yeah, I as we mentioned earlier, I can't grow one, but thankfully I didn't lose any games in League of Legends today, so we're good to go. Today is the all-important battle for third place in Summer Series 1 between 7th seed Curse Academy and 8th ranked Frank Fang Gaming. Automatic entry into the next Challenger Series is on the line today.
And winning this match is a crucial step back to the LCS for many of Curse Academy's former pros. Ex-CLG and Team Curse jungler St. Vicious is just one of the well-known players on the team, along with former XDG mid laner ManCloud and support bunny Fufu, who also played for Curse in the 2014 Spring Split.
So when Curse Academy have fallen behind early, we've seen a team who begins taking a little bit too many risks and they start digging themselves into deeper and deeper deficits. If that happens today, Frank Fang Gaming will most definitely look to capitalize.
Yeah, and the big name and former pro on Frank Fang Gaming is Nian Tanso, who stepped down as CLG's top laner at the end of the Spring Split. The problems he experienced in the LCS appear to be long gone now that he's calling the shots, but comes with some other problems. If he can get his team to a strong start, they'll be the ones punching their ticket for Series 2.
So in Series 1, this is how the tournament has unfolded after weeks of intense competition. As we mentioned, today's third place match is between Curse Academy and Frank Fang Gaming. Both teams fell to their opponents in the semifinals, but with a win today will earn a spot for Summer Series 2. Meanwhile, whoever loses today will have to re-qualify and battle through 2 elimination rounds to make it to the Series 2 bracket.
Yeah, the battle for first place for Series 1 takes place on Sunday, June 22nd, between Team LOLPro and Team Coast. That match will take place live before the EU LCS in a sold-out Wembley Arena before thousands of fans.
That's going to be a whole bunch of fun. So clinching the #1 spot has more value than just bragging rights. It also means more points to carry over into the second Summer Series. Here are the current scores for Series 1, and of course these are going to be aggregates overall. Team Coast and Team LOLPro lead the pack with at least 7 points earned so far.
And then tonight's teams are tied with 4, but whoever wins will hold third place by themselves with 5 points total for Series 1. Plus, they will automatically re-qualify for the Series 2 quarterfinals, granting them another 2 points.
Yeah, or more if they keep advancing forward. So, Area of Effect, Cloud9 Tempest, Team Green Forest, and XDG ended Series 1 with a single point each, but can carry their score over if they re-qualify for Series 2. And to help keep track of all the Challenger scores, schedules, and our current bracket, log on to lolesports.com.
Under the Leagues and Tournaments tab, you'll find everything you need to follow the Challenger Series and the LCS all season long.
So today's best-of-3 matchup's about ready to go. It's Curse Academy against Frank Fang Gaming, with automatic entry into Series 2 and an extra point on the line.
Yeah, we talked about how Curse Academy, once they get behind, they just start making risks and digging themselves even deeper. Curse Academy's KDA in wins is 7.79, but when they lose, it's 0.79. In their losses up against, oh, wow.
LOLPro?
LOLPro. No, it wasn't LOLPro.
Oh, yeah,
Frank
sorry.
Fang Gaming was
Coast.
LOLPro. Up against Coast, they ended up going 7-33.
Yeah.
Those 2 losses.
It's a very different score. It's like almost a 5-to-1 ratio there.
Yeah.
Before you kind of said
Utterly ridiculous there, because there's a lot of plays that you try to force when you're behind, and the shot calling on that team seems to be it's very difficult to call from behind, but they're not making the right calls for certain when they're behind.
Yeah, it seems to be a team carried very heavily on individual skill. These are still phenomenally good players, to be fair. Like, ManCloud was arguably the best mid laner in North America last summer split, right? And, like, even if you're not playing like every day for an LCS level, like you don't fall very far in a fair amount of time. So there definitely still a lot of really great players in that team.
Yeah, and a big thing here is the kill participation for the bottom lane AD carries. We can see that Impactful has a lot more than Latman currently, but that's because Curse Academy, when they win their lane just in CS, they group up and they start having team fights, so everybody's involved in those. Whereas if you look at somebody like Nian Tanso up in the top lane for Frank Fang Gaming, he has about a 72% kill participation as a top laner, which is really big. He gets kills up there, they focus a lot into that lane, and they make sure he gets going.
Yeah, and I know we talked about that last week, but him being the shot caller means it's just easier to center things around yourself. I know, from like, I play with a bunch of dudes in ranked 5, and it's like, it's really easy to navigate myself around there. And I either ignore my team and get farm, or I'll actually join team fights, but one of the two.
Those are pretty much your 2 options as a top laner.
Yeah.
But at the same time, our top lane matchup is Nian versus Chris, and you can see their KDAs 3.33 for Nian, and Chris 5.29. So Chris actually has a better KDA because Nian's very risky in his play. He's played like a lot of Yasuo, and it's been a priority ban for him. But if he can get on that champion, he goes ham. He goes in, doesn't even apologize. He's like, going in. And since you're the shot caller, you have the right to do that.
Yeah.
It's your team. It's their fault for not following you.
And that's the great thing is if you make a call and it's bad, you just say, I was just testing your ability to listen to me. Or on the other side, your ability to stand up for bad calls. I mean, either way, you win if you're the shot caller. You're like, well, good. I was just testing you. I mean, we lost the game, but at least you followed the call. That's the moral victory for that one. And it's actually interesting. You mentioned the Chris KDA. Like, this is a team that, again, they just lost that series. You mentioned the 7-33 stat, and Chris still has a 5+ KDA. Like, even in the losses, Chris is actually very good still. And I remember back on his days with Velocity, I was never impressed by him, and I thought all the other top laners in the NALCS were kind of beating him up, and he was a bit of a liability with that squad, but I think he's done exceptionally well in the Challenger Series so far, and I think he's really stepped up over the last year or so.
Yeah, he has the second highest KDA on his team behind Mandatory Cloud. He's also formerly #1 in Challenger in solo queue. Right now he's around that number 10 area, but he's a very good solo queue player. He knows how to not die as a top laner, keep himself safe, and then go for picks, go for kills, and set up ganks. I remember I was talking with JD Wu, and he was saying, you know, Chris is known for setting up his ganks. He knows how to set them up and bait people backwards properly. So see if he can set up St. Vicious in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Saint's, again, another heavily experienced player, right? He's been around for a while, a couple of counts in Challenger solo queue, LCS for, like, ever.
And you know he's going to want to shut down Nian Tanso.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just give him some of that ex-CLG revenge. To be fair, never on the same squad at the same time. But, hey, you've got some of that, you know, clashing right there.
Yeah.
That matters much for people.
Yeah. Curse Academy, they have to start off strong here. That's a really big thing for them, because if they lose the laning phase, they typically just crumble and lose the game.
Yeah, true, and that's going to be really important, and you can see it again from the score lines. I mean, the individual stats are just as impressive as the 7-33 mark right there, but it's like Saints Lee Sin in Game 3 was rather questionable.
Yeah, 0, 7, and 1 in that game.
And again, it's an early game jungler where you expect people to make plays early on. I know a lot of people online criticize his Lee Sin play, saying, we've never seen Saint really play Lee Sin, and he was actually often criticized for his mechanics, you know, Smite Vicious and all that, but also just on champions themselves. And so, yeah, it felt really weird that, like, was the team mentality, like, really off right there, right? And obviously the individual play wasn't there in that specific game. And I know afterwards he tweeted out saying that was, like, the worst I've, like, ever played League of Legends. It's like, okay, I understand, like, people have off days sometimes.
Yes.
That's forgivable, but your tournament bracket, this game matters a whole lot. Don't have another off day.
They are given a little bit of forgiveness here, because if they win today, and today they're on, they don't have to go back to the rank 5s ladder and re-qualify, because they get that auto berth into the round of 8, and they get extra points.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be the test right here. And again, there's so many strong teams in the North American Challenger scene actually overall. That you do want the easier ride into the top 8, right? You want the seeding as well to make sure you're playing an arguably weaker team as well in that spot. We saw, for example, Team 8 failed to make it out of the round of 20, one of the heavily favored North American Challenger teams, actually. And so maybe we see them in split too, but you're seeing these teams that are very strong. It's like, well, look, it's a difficult gauntlet to run. You know, get yourself in a good spot.
Yeah, anything can happen round of 20, round of 10. Like you said, Team 8 knocked out of it very, very early on. But you know, and also you find a lot of teams that you may have not faced before.
Yeah.
They might be new, they might be around the bottom.
Sure.
It's like, okay, not as known, what are they going to bring to the table? Yeah. So there's a lot of risk of what can happen there. Just take out the RNG.
Yeah. I mean, at least they're all coming from rank 5, so you can look at the team history.
Yes.
But yes, difficulty all the same if you don't play them off normally. So we are into picks and bans, of course, guys. The 3 bans coming up for Curse Academy. KL, Cast, and Lee Sin all removed in the first pick for Chris on the Shyvana. Jax, Lulu, and Italy all removed away.
Yeah, and they're definitely targeting a little bit of Nian Tanso here, but he's going to go straight for the Trundle on that one.
One thing to keep in mind, actually, is this is a remade champ select, by the way, so they're actually all picking the champs they'd already done. So we actually don't, unfortunately, have the pick and ban order for you guys, but at least the lineups are on screen now.
That was really fast.
Yeah.
So, you know what? None of this. Just be like, this is what they're doing in the team comp.
All right, Zyrene, blue team.
All right, there's a lot they can actually do here right now. There's a little bit of a wombo combo here. They can set up ManCloud, and ManCloud had one of his best games when he was on Yasuo for the team. He went 3-1-9. That was the game they actually won when they were playing against Team Coast, was when he was on Yasuo. And Chris, he can set up the ultimate with Shyvana very, very easily. Then you get on top of him with Morgana, with Bunny Fufu. You can set up some picks here. You have the Morgana Elise combination for the crowd control CC with the binding and the cocoon.
Yeah.
It's a great team overall, and you have some setup here for Yasuo.
Yeah, I mean, it's really melee heavy overall, but that's okay as long as you play around it right. The difficulty with a melee heavy team, though, is you're facing Threshbox, but you're facing Ziggs, who's a wonderful counter-engage champion. Trundle the same as well. Like, Pillar can really actually screw with this kind of stuff. If you're a ludicrously good Trundle player, you can stop Shyvana ultis with that. I mean, that's freaking hard to be fair,
Yeah.
but like something I've still seen from players this good. So there are a couple things to sort of keep in mind with this comp. We look at kind of the purple team here. Nian, I think it's a good counter pick, and Trundle against Shyvana. It's kind of the default counter pick if you're going for lane matchup. He provides less pressure, but as long as you can kind of like he provides pressure in the sense that he'll slowly push Shyvana down. But his solo pressure is lower, and that he wave clears much slower.
Yeah, Shyvana is definitely the go-to in terms of wave clear and split pushing. But yeah, Niantanso, he has the team fighting. He can shred the resistances. He's all good, going to put him on himself. Big thing here is that when you build your Blade of the Ruined King first on Trundle, Shyvana's build immediately doesn't punish you for that until later, because it actually rewards you, because it's like, oh, you went Sunfire Cape? I'm going to go ahead and steal your resistances.
And the great thing is if they don't buy any MR, then the health literally does just buff you.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that she has Dragonborn passive, even if she does go for a Blade of the Ruined King first, you're still in a great spot. And she doesn't provide enough pressure against Trundle to just destroy him early. So we'll see if St. Vicious can make visits top and just set up those ganks. But then they also have a Vi and a Thresh. These are two champions that have very telegraphed moves versus Bunny Fufu, who's on Morgana.
Yeah.
Can use a Black Shield, can stop a lot of that. Big thing here, though, is the wave clear for Frank Fang Gaming is much better than what Curse Academy's bringing to the table. They really have a Lucian, and that's about it in terms of ranged wave clear.
Yeah,
Yasuo's not going to bring that to the table. You're up against Ziggs who can siege, and they have a Corki.
Yeah. There's like one saving grace. I mean, I agree with you entirely on the split on the wave clear point. The one caveat I'm going to bring is if you're really good with wind walls, you can keep your turret alive for almost an entire minion wave. They'll durations about long enough that if you're right on the ball, you can get rid of the minions, block the damage in, but still that's a cooldown, must be placed perfectly, and still leaves you open for some windows. I do agree with you on the Bunny Fufu point. I really want to see how quick his Morgana is. How many hooks do you block? How many violets do you block? And that was one of the reasons people weren't bringing out Vi very much, was the fact that one of the most popular support picks in the game right now is very good at dealing with her. And yet, what we're seeing her come out, CLG beat LMQ with it in one of the battles for first place. That obviously worked out. We've been seeing Jarvan picked over Evelynn as well. Like, the tier lifts are actually shifting a lot. I know you've been saying Vi and Jarvan are like the new jam. And obviously these players are showing it as well.
And Nunu's up there too because of vision control. That's if it's a priority, because you can rush the Sightstone. At least you can still rush Sightstone on her and you aren't punished. Vi, you kind of have to build damage. Jarvan, you have to build damage as well, but you can go for a Sightstone. It's not as rewarding as if it's on a Nunu, because you do need the early damage.
True.
Whereas somebody like Vi, you almost never see that. You'll see something like a Trinity Force second item if you do get ahead. I think Dexter actually ended up building a Trinity Force in that, and that's actually my solo queue build for Vi as well.
Yeah.
That's how you carry with it. You just go absolutely nuts.
Destroy the 80 carry.
Exactly.
I hate you.
You just go
using my own tools against me. That's what hurts the most.
Tons of damage. I don't know where I learned that, but
Vi is presses R and clicks me, and then I have to be sad for the next 3 minutes while I respawn.
Yeah, and then you have an extra gap closer, and you'll always end up on the opposite side of them when you use Assault and Battery.
Yeah.
So then you just queue them and knock them into your team very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But that all aside here, there's a lot that each team has available to them. Team fighting looks like what Curse Academy is going to be trying to bring to the table here, whereas Niantanso, he's going to be split pushing for the most part and then trying to teleport in after dueling Chris.
Yeah.
That looks like what it's going to be, because I think a lot of this is going to be Frank Fan Gaming is going to be either pushed up very far, or they're going to just sit around a turret and be like, all right, you can't actually get this turret from us.
Sure.
Unless you somehow get impactful to do enough damage to it from a range.
Yeah.
Or you walk up and win wall.
Or you dive some bros, right?
Yeah.
Like you go in and you hope the Shyvana ulti lands. It's not stopped by anything. I mean, Vi can Vault Breaker it, Thresh can Flay it, Ziggs can Satchel it, Nian on Trundle can also Pillar. There's actually, and that's the only knock-up on the team. Right, to be fair, that's the only knock-up on Curse Academy. Now, really good teams can get 3-man Shyvana ultis and a Yasuo, and life is painful when this happens, let's be real.
You have to follow it up, too. It's not actually that long of a knock-up.
Yeah, you get about a half second to say, I'm going in, watch for the knock-ups, and then get yourself into that one. So, definitely something to watch for. But guys, we are getting ourselves now into the game. And it's going to be a fun one, guys. Blue side, Curse Academy. Red side, Frank Fang Gaming. They're leaving the base.
And a big thing here is Curse Academy, they went 3 games in their semifinal match. Over in Europe, NIP, H2K, they went to 3 games in their matches too. Frank Fang Gaming is the only team that got 0-2'd. They're the only team that didn't take a single game off their semifinal opponents, which is actually really big, considering they were against LOLPro, who everybody thought wasn't going to make it through. LawPro is one of those teams that kind of came out of nowhere and got really good with their lane swaps, with Laud being the new mid laner.
Yeah, it was a really impressive just how well it did. Oh, okay. Good flash. We're good. It's okay. His summoner spell gone. But the invade, of course, still happened. These guys running across the map. I mean, okay, binding's going to land. Still okay.
Get a flash there, too. So see if they can take any advantage of that and what ends up happening because of it.
All right, well, FrankFang Gaming have made their way out after finally getting that Trinket Ward down to the red buff, burning a flash and otherwise being okay. Bunny Fufu at least got his revenge binding worth 5 gold. So, I mean, if you value your flash cooldown at 5 gold or less, Curse Academy wins.
It's worth a lot more than that, especially since it's a 5-minute cooldown. We're going to have to see what they do, because if you turn that flash cooldown into a kill, then it's worth like 300 gold.
True. Even more if you get assists and stuff.
Yeah.
FrankFang Gaming sitting on top of the Tri-Brush ward. That's actually not an often ward spot, so FFG not necessarily as aware they're being revealed, but they go with the 4-man buddies. They're going to get the bottom side jungle just for themselves. Curse Academy doing the same thing in the top side, so red buff trades, but here's the interesting thing is we're not in a lane swap scenario, so we're going to have to require Nian the TP back to the top lane, and we will play 2-on-2s.
And yeah, 2-on-2s. This is something we didn't see pretty much at all during the semifinals. Everybody just kept lane swapping, and then the team that got the first dragon, especially against Curse Academy, Coast, kept taking the first dragon, and then they would run away with the game from there. So we're not going to see any of that 3.5-minute dragon turning into wards and then just rewarding the team that didn't lane swap. Now they're going to go head-to-head, even though it's Morgana versus Thresh, and everything's telegraphed.
Cloud.
He's very aggressive on this champion, but they see Ziploc on the side.
Good cutting away, though. He's not going to get by much of anything there, and jumps back to the minion line. Actually took a lot of damage on the way back out there.
He actually loses the trade in the overall.
Yeah, Red Buff Vi does some damage with E, and that's going to be a scare. ManCloud going to keep regenning, but only, of course, 1 potion with Thorn's Blade starts, so he actually has less available regen. Baby Zeus might start dominating the lane. Let ManCloud gets his way back in. Oh, that hook was so good, though.
And another big thing here is I talked about ManCloud, and he went 3-1-9, and he was pretty much the key to victory when they won that game, and he was playing Yasuo. He gets it in his hands, takes it away from Nian Tanso, stops him from playing that champion, and then he's going to do really well with it. He's equal in CS to Baby Zeus already in the early game.
Ooh, nice. I like the Baby Eater, sort of over the back toss of the Thresh hook, but doesn't mean too much. We're definitely going to be thinking about just how much this Yasuo pick matters. This is one of the interesting things about this matchup, is it's a really heavily contested pick. Like, as you talked about, right? One of the ones that ManCloud won, one of the famous champions for Nian. ManCloud goes for another trade. Baby Zeus takes a bit of damage, dodges the satchel as well. So there we go. And those are the trades he's been looking for. Baby Zeus now out of potions, so ManCloud
We're actually having an invade
back
here from
Ooh,
Saint.
That is not the cocoon you wanted.
And the big thing, too, is Ziploc was right there on the side. So he was ready to counter gank that if they had actually landed the cocoon. Granted, Baby Zeus, he would have taken more damage, and that's in the laning phase. Even if you just get a gank that results in damage, it's worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Ziploc, he's trying to find a cheeky way around this, but he's used his Vault Breaker. He's going around trying to gank.
You see, and he's going to have to go pretty fast then, because Chris, he's going to try to bait this out. He's pretending like he doesn't know.
They pink bottom.
Be ready to leave.
They pink bottom to show that there's no chance of a counter gank here. It is warded, so they're going to be seen, but there's... Yeah, they're playing too far back in the bottom. Up top, though.
Ooh, Ziploc knows he got spotted. That ward just died.
Yeah, he's going to walk away now.
He's like, never mind. He knew the whole time. Saint is just going to counter jungle. Of course, they still know that side of the map was pretty much safe, so he can probably get wolves as well if he goes quickly enough.
Yeah, that's true. He can get the big wolf, and Ziploc, unless he heads straight there, will be able to... No, he's going to go for the... Yeah, he's going to go for the Wraiths.
Okay.
It's actually going to reward St. Vicious in the overall experience.
Nicely done right here. Of course, the mid laner being pushed out means if, you know, realistically, ManCloud could go help if Ziploc wanted to contest that, so that's not going to happen here. You're just going to see Ziploc hold mid instead. That's a safe play, but Saint got to counter 2 camps for that gank.
Tier first for Baby Zeus on Ziggs.
Interesting. Okay, so definitely going for the, what's it called? The Arm Guard tier build, which is one of the I guess standard is the right choice for it. The standard sort of, I need mana, but I really need to not that Yasuo builds. We saw these with champions like Zed as well, so...
Yeah, you neglect cooldown reduction because you're not getting a Morello Nomicon or an Athene's Unholy Grail. but he wants to survive is the big thing here. And ManCloud is very vicious. You can see he's already at 40 CS compared to the 34. He's very relentless, and that's how you have to play Yasuo as well. You have to pressure that lane, you have to be aggressive, or else you're just going to get poked out. Because Wing Wall isn't up all of the time.
Yeah.
Neither is your passive.
Yeah, it's really worth pointing out, like, in range versus melee matchups, the ones that the melee wins are because the melee chose to take these risks and actually press their damage.
Oh, it lands the Saints on the side.
The flash Cocoon's gonna hit! Not good for Latman. He flashes, takes the Lantern, but that takes him back into the fight. First blood goes to Saint. Baby Eater now's got to be careful. He has flash, gets away from the binding hooks. Saint Vicious into the turret, flays him back in as well. The slow is there, but only one turret shot. First blood still, Curse Academy.
Ziploc was off on the right side of the map, but he backed. He went back to go ahead and get himself some goodies, so he wasn't around for any type of counter gank, and the fact that there was no ward there just opened up that gank perfectly for Saint Vicious. And now, what do they do with it? They started. Looks like he started up the dragon. Just a mistake.
Just wanted to be on fire.
So they got themselves an early lead here. And the thing with Curse Academy is they need that lead to start closing out the game. Talked about it earlier, when they get behind, they make really bad decisions and they get too aggressive. Now they're putting themselves in a spot where their aggression will pay off because they have more stats.
Absolutely, and I think it's gonna, it kind of shows with the team comp here, right? You can hit the bindings, you can, kill people, all that kind of fun stuff. And just ManCloud's champion in general, I feel like that player is just one who is ready to go kill people whenever he wants.
Yeah, 61 CS at 7 minutes. ManCloud, record setter for CS at 10.
Yep, that man is still very good at slaying minions. Captain Ziploc level 5 right now, top side of the map. Doesn't have much to do. He's going to go for his own red buff there, so that's chill. I think he held the timer on that pretty well. Good news for him. And we're back to a bit of a lull, as it looks like these teams are going to play in their properly, respectful parts of the jungle. None of this lane swap shenanigans where you're like, well, we on the north side.
That's why we put a wall here, the north.
Oh, man.
Not allowed. And you get the White Walkers, but still. The big thing here is what are they going to do with the second round of buffs? Because typically you'll see a dragon come out around this time, and Curse Academy have already put pink wards in that area to ward it up and said, this is where we want to head. Look at that. Elise, early sight stone for Saint Vicious.
Wow. Off the Spirit Stone, too. And Elise is one of those junglers who can get away with that. Her bases are good enough.
Exactly. Her base damages are good enough, and her ratios aren't good.
True.
That's a big thing, too, because Vi, her base damages are pretty good, but her ratios do require you to buy at least one damage item. It's basically bonus AD now.
Well, Nian's got to be careful. He puts the pillar down, but he's still right in front of Saint Vicious. Cocoon comes out.
Saint's on the other side of the map, though. That's going to allow Frank Fang to start up the dragon if they want to.
Well, they got to be careful on the bot lane, though, because Baby Eater nearly took a binding, gets hit with a Q, but trades back onto Impactful.
They got to hand off the blues and do the ceremonial dance before dragon.
All right. Baby Zeus accepts the mating call. Blue Wolf is now his. Latman's got to be careful, though. He took a full burst of damage. Whoa. This could be another death, and it is. Bunny Fufu claims another kill. Baby Eater puts the flay down, but that's not going to be enough. He is stunned. He's actually going to hook Bunny Fufu. Impactful's got to be real careful. And, what? Okay, at least the kill comes back, but Bunny Fufu on fire from a red buff. Captain Ziploc gets binded. His Q up in 1 second. Will he flash Q? Nope.
We talked about the AD carries kill participation. Yep. This is why it's so high. Yeah. Because this is where all the action is going down right now. Nian Tatso's is typically very high as well, because he pulls Baby Zeus up there in the mid game alongside Captain Ziploc. But it hasn't happened yet this game.
Yeah, I mean, not only do the AD carries have 100% kill participation, combined they have 75% death participation.
That's true. Ton of action down here. We're going to see right the culling comes out and he just eats the full culling. It actually looks like it gets canceled early there to get the extra auto out from Impactful. Very well microed there. And we see the heal comes out, but it's not enough. Impactful ends up dropping, and the box finally comes out, but a double kill already goes over. And now they're focusing Nian in the top.
Nian has popped the ult. He's healing up the best he can. He will heal a little bit more off these minions, but ManCloud, can he push away with Captain Ziploc? Chris and Saint still around. This is going to be a bit of a risky dive, but they're going to go for it. Saint pulls aggro first.
He has repel.
Nice little trophy right there, but Chris now on the other side of it. Six Bomb comes out. Saint not going to go down. Chris tanks it really, really well aggroed by Curse Academy.
And during this time, you should be doing Dragon. You saw some fishes up there for a very, very long time. You have dominant vision of that area, and Frank Fan Gaming don't make a move for it. Instead, Ziploc pressures ManCloud in the mid lane and then just backs off.
I mean, you think about how bad the bottom lane's been right now for Frank Fan Gaming. Impactful and Bunny Fufu have to be, aside from CS, which, I mean, is relevant to be fair, are crushing this lane.
Yeah, Impactful and Bunny Fufu are doing a really great job, but they keep getting pushed in. It just looks like Latman is clearing on top of them and to the turret. But that also gives Impactful and Bunny Fufu more room to just chase them up the lane. They are safe. It takes them longer to get safe because their turret's so far away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to try. Nope. Almost right there. But, I mean, the problem is still, though, right? It's like, even though you have the would-be positioning, the fact that Curse Academy never seems to be low on health means they realistically can't go for those dragons. Like, that's a really unsafe call when you know that dual lane is stronger than you.
And they ended up pushing that wave into the turret, but the fact that they would just have a numbers advantage straight out is something to consider.
Sure,
we'll have to see. Ziploc, he's 6 now. He wants to use the Assault and Battery that just came up right now alongside his Flash, and there are no wards down here to see him. But it is a Morgana.
Yeah, well, the Black Shield's going to be an important one. How good's the hook? How good's the
Saint's
play?
here too.
Ooh. They pinged it. They know he's there.
Yeah. He was on top of ward. He sweeps it out, though, and then he backs off. Oh, it's going to call him in.
Goes in. Who's going to find it? No Black Shield comes out whatsoever. Impactful is going to be going down. It was already on cooldown. Bunny Fufu has no way of helping a friend. And out they go. Another kill picked up. This is Frank Fang Gaming finally finding their second kill.
Yeah, they were able to bait it out before the engage started, and Ziploc going to have to zone away and pick up the ward after it.
Down goes the ward. Flashy recall animation.
Ooh, Chris is actually invading the jungle now, trying to take it over because they saw that Captain Ziploc was in the bottom lane. So he goes and gets some vision over by the red buff, and now making plays mid.
Well, good Satch retreat there. Chris Academy will show up in time for this turret, though. Well played. Chris Academy continuing to actually press their early lead with now a mid lane turret kill. Dragon still has not been started by either team, but CA definitely making good moves.
Yeah, Curse Academy are making really good moves right now. They got ahead off of the first couple kills, and now they're able to make moves because a lot of attention has been drawn down bottom and top. Like, they kind of split it, and now they just group up and focus mid with those people they got ahead.
Oh, look at this. Saint Vish actually trying to solo the Dragon out with his Spiderlings. They will help a little bit here. Captain Ziploc also going back for his own buff. So he's been clearing his jungle pretty successfully. 58 minions on him. Lizard Elder already done, but Saint has done more for the team, I would say. Sightstone, the Dragon attempt here. Curse Academy definitely looking better as a unit.
Yeah, it's a great call to get that Sightstone on release, because then you can swap out your sweeper very easily. Oh, it gets it off of it.
And it's got to be real careful. Damage on a Chris. One attack, can't pick it up in time. ManCloud seals the deal. Chris gets away. Not even close, baby.
ManCloud and Chris, great communication there. Ziploc, though, can he get it? Oh!
Oh, couldn't quite get him. And that ward, it didn't seem like it actually saw him inside the brush either. Ziploc up. Misses the Q thanks to a knockout from ManCloud. Will miss one extra CS because of it. All right, that turret barely lives, but Curse Academy still repeatedly making the better plays.
Yeah, they're making a lot better plays. Not only do they seem to be winning their lanes for the most part. Actually, no, see, there's CS advantages here for Frank Fang Gaming.
Yeah.
But there's just more
winning because of
participation.
kills.
Yeah, they're more participation. They're just grouping up better and making better rotations right now. Frank Fang seem to be playing the stay in your lane game.
Ooh, good flash from ManCloud. Gets away from the Vault Breaker.
Chris decides not to take the teleport, instead to push out the mid lane. Just used it to make him back off.
All right, well, that's some pressure put down. Looks like the team's running down towards the bottom side of the map, just maybe. ManCloud stays up there against Nian. Nian does have teleport. Chris looking for this flank here. Level 10.
Yeah, he
No
left
Dragon for him.
He left lane a long time ago.
Yeah.
He's done dueling Nian. He doesn't want to play that game.
No, but they are going to get a duel on this turret. I guess kind of a 4v1, actually. Not a very close duel. Bit of unfair duel. Let's be fair.
4v turret. It's not fair.
The 4 did win.
Typically, too. Oh, he's going to go for this. Last breath comes out.
Comes in, pretty good amount of damage. Nian very low now, 500 health. The crit hitting as well. ManCloud, just a static shiv, really knocking people around. Nian forced to heal as best he can off his Cutlass and everything else there, and just wave through coming in. Baby Zeus earning himself some fantasy points. Looks like he's succeeding at killing these wraiths.
Yeah, his build is very interesting, too, because he went straight for a tier, and now he's going for a needlessly large rod, and he's neglected all cooldown reduction, so his wave clear isn't as frequent.
Yeah.
So when they get sieged up, that's yeah, exactly. That's going to be a problem when they get sieged on by Curse Academy, because he doesn't have the frequent wave clear, he doesn't have the frequent poke to discourage them from actually coming in, and a big part of that is the cooldown reduction monopool. He's not going to have that available.
Absolutely. Big risk for these guys if he starts to oom from having to clear too many times, and if you clear waves farther from your base, you get the fountain less often.
Yeah.
It is a risk overall. But right now, we have a 4,000 gold lead for Curse Academy, which means we might just have to force those defensive seed situations. Baby Zeus might be the only guy keeping his team aloft for a while. Nian again in a duel with Manclad. Manclad doing exceptionally well in this one. Knockup's going to land. Goes for another ulti. Big damage comes through. Nian pops his own ultimate, and they're going to see how well these guys can fight. Somebody heal pop for movement speed. Flash for Nian. Can Manclad get the knockup?
There's
He's
the
trying to
lantern.
juke. Lantern comes out. Can't get the knockup. Manclad has to put him away.
He gets him out of there. But here are the junglers. They've both been playing out of their mind this game.
Well, a couple of spells missed from Saint, though, and it's going to be FFG game. You just force them away from the map. But otherwise, nothing picked up there for this one. Saint 2 and 0. Ancient Golem is there as well, and he's going towards what looks like Aegis.
Actually, a fun thing in the bottom lane. The Trinity Force first for Impactful versus the Bloodthirster first from Latman. Latman actually has a CS advantage by about 20 now, because the kills that ended up in that lane went to Bunny Fufu. He's 2-0-1, and they're actually looking for ManCloud right here.
He does not have flash
Just
or
Ziploc,
heal.
though.
No summoners up, but Captain Ziploc, yeah, he is alone. Ulti not going to matter. Dodges away from the knockup. ManCloud could not have followed anyway. Just a lantern to keep him to safety. So FFG Gaming sitting on a couple of defensive pink wards to keep their jungle as safe as they can. But these guys got to be careful. Binding's going to land. Nicely done, but Fufu even saves the ward. Baby Eater can't quite kill that one, so hey, take what you can get.
Yeah, right out of range from it. And now ManCloud is doing split push duties against Niantanso, and Niantanso, he loves Yasuo. He knows the power of that champion and the dueling potential it brings to the table. And up against Trundle, he steals your defensive stats, but against a Yasuo, you don't build any defensive items, so you're barely giving him anything.
That's true. You don't even gain MR per level. Not that it necessarily matters against Yasuo anyway, but hey. Just more stats we don't even have. St. Vicious pushing Baby Eater away. Some nice deep wards to watch. Who could be defending this tier 2 turret? Curse Academy ready to go for this one. Black Shield comes in. Baby Eater forced to flash away. Binding pushes Latman back as well, and you're going to see this turret maybe under fire soon.
It's just really good decision-making from Curse Academy so far after getting that little lead. And there's the hook onto Chris, though.
Got to be careful. It does play in back, but Baby Eater just goes down. Too much damage coming out there. Curse Academy making the plays. Nice black shield. Ziploc finds nothing for it. Morgana ulti comes in from Bunny Fufu. He's going to get a lot of them down. Does fall overboard, but still 2-1 for Curse Academy.
Yeah, really, like I said.
Oh, Chris!
Oh!
Wow, he was in the wrong place right there. That was silly.
Niantanso's here too now, and ManCloud has no way into this.
Man,
oh, the pillar!
What a pillar. Curse Academy forced to fight for their lives. Impactful goes down. The turnaround by Niantanso's teleport. Big.
He just shows up to
those are wolves.
Just shows up to pillar. That's basically all he did, was show up to pillar, and it came up huge there. Baby Eater, he's a little too far forward, but at the same time, he had to make that play to get Chris in this fight. A great black shield from Bunny Fufu. He shields, and then he immediately walks up to get the Soul Shackle, basically guaranteeing the kill on Ziploc. He sacrificed himself at the same time. Chris is sticking around too long, though. He runs straight to a bomb because Niantanso teleported to the bottom side, and they saw that, and they couldn't do anything about it. But look at that.
Wow.
Oh, one man.
Another fight. Captain Ziploc forced to run away for this one. The dream is real. Nian, though, taking way too much damage. Curse Academy find one back. This game trending rapidly into a bloodbath. 8-5 in kills, and still a big gold lead Curse Academy.
Yeah, and now Curse Academy have a lot of options because they have this lead. They can get Dragon, which is up in 5 seconds right now, and they look like they're heading over that way.
That might be the smart choice. ManCloud still pushing up in the top side. Looks like bottom outer goes down to Latman. And a fade starting for him as well. So Corki will be mirroring this build before too long. Though Impactful is actually going for Ruin King on the Lucian. So we'll see what matters. For those builds, there are 2 tanky frontliners there. So I understand the Ruin King choice. St. Vicious grabs the blue buff steal. And now they're in position for Dragon.
Great pickup there. And because of the build, once again, for Baby Zeus, it looks like he's going to go for the Archangel Staff straight into the Zonias. Take that blue away from him, you cripple that Ziggs a lot.
You absolutely do, but you know, he's going to try on just the Archangel Zonia's build, so again, no CDR, definitely going for something defensive.
Like, he'll have some decent mana regen and a decent pool, but once you burn through it, it's hard to get it back up. And there's a lot of decent, like, you can just run up with Impactful and be like, oh, I cleared the wave. What are you guys going to do about it? If you run Ziggs out of mana, you ruin his entire just siege defense.
Absolutely.
Can't do anything about it.
We'll see if the mana becomes a concern here with this build. Tier keeps stacking up. He's got, you know, as you said, a little bit of mana regen. We'll see how it pans out.
A big thing, too, is FFG Gaming, they have pretty much a go-after-them comp in their top laner and in their jungler. It's just like, we are going to engage this, and you guys are going to follow up.
Yeah.
And there is some disengage from Niantanso, but Vi just kind of doesn't fit
Vi
the whole
goes
thing.
in pretty much.
Doesn't fit the whole dynamic that's coming out here. But
I think ward's saved.
We'll have to see what they end up doing with it, because they obviously have something in mind. Don't know how far down or what situation they thought they'd be in. But now Niantanso, I don't know if he can duel Man Cloud, but we'll see. Oh,
well,
not a duel.
Bring in the Vine. That's going to be pretty good for them. Now Man Cloud's going to flash downwards. A nice pillar, though, and Man Cloud will go down. Nian finds the kill thanks to help from Captain Ziploc. So FFG finding their way back in a couple of times here, but with the Dragon going down, it's still a 4K gold deficit. It's going to take them some time.
So big thing there was that Ziploc was able to use his Assault and Battery when Niantanso was knocked up, so you couldn't use Last Breath on it from Man Cloud. So he didn't get the armor penetration, he didn't get the lockup, and he didn't get his passive reset.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Absolutely it is. I mean, the 1v2 is still a difficult one, but
yes.
hey, well done. St. Vicious actually clears out the rest of that Wraith camp, interestingly enough, so that'll come back up in about 45 seconds. Nian still holds this top lane, 182 minions. He is trying his hardest to farm up and be this gigantic threat. Going towards the randoms, he realizes Curse Academy, very physical heavy. You will get some magic from the Shyvana, but she went Ruin King, so you will still see a lot of AD come out from her.
Yeah, I like the build for the Randuin. It's getting tanky. He hasn't even finished his Blade of the Ruined King yet.
Nah.
Whereas Chris has. Chris went straight for it. So Niantanso, he's realizing he's going to have to soak more damage than deal at this point. Because they're playing from behind too.
I mean,
the longer you can stay alive under turrets, the better, frankly.
Oh, sure. And I mean, to be fair, you've got the Rocketeer Yordle Brigade. You've got Ziggs and Corki just throwing explosive out there. Like, I'd take for that lineup. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. They do enough damage. It's mixed enough, too, between the Corki. So you have a good spread here.
Oh, this is big, though. I don't know if Nian sniffs this out. He's going to walk around, but he's going towards the top lane. He does not whatsoever. Curse Academy successfully sneak the Baron with their support showing mid. They're top going to show on the right-hand side,
now
and Curse Academy. Oh, man. And now you got to be careful if you're Nian here. He's going to try to go as fast as he can.
Ooh, Saint's going to try to cut him off here alongside Impactful. Goes straight over Pink Ward and dodges.
Stops a bit of it. Saint's going to go in there, but Nian just kind of wants to fight the guy
they're
back.
all here.
Summoner he'll use, and there's the engage for everyone else. I think that was a bit of a weirdly mixed call. The knockout comes through, though. Captain Ziploc down the wrong spot. Saint gets out. Impactful gets the kill. And look at this. Curse Academy really breaking this game open.
Yeah, Ziploc went a little too far there, and now Curse Academy with the Baron, the sneaky Baron, and the good calls so far. They got a Dragon undetected. They got a Baron undetected. They got the next Dragon completely undetected as well. And now they're just creating this large gold lead for themselves that they can pretty much do anything they want, regardless of whether or not the call is super aggressive or super safe. So they're playing, I mean, basically they're holding all the cards.
Yep, they're holding all the cards, and they're playing it pretty much perfectly. Cursed Academy are definitely owning the map right now. They're not letting almost anything happen to them. There's the occasional Vi sneaks in to gank somebody, but that's pretty much it. CA looking great here in game 1 of up to 3. If FFG can pull something back here.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the whole, their KDAs when they win is 7.79. When they lose, it's 0.79. They're definitely playing a winning game for Cursed Academy currently.
Yeah. Ooh, man, gonna be real kind of a turn shot. Wow. That was just a mistake.
Yeah, staying there way too long. And now they get a lot of pressure off the map. Man Cloud, 2-2-1. And look at this, Baby Zeus, 3-0-1. Has the Zonias completed, has the Archangel staff. I don't know how much he's going to be sieging or how much he's going to be on the back foot if they're just completely aggressive.
Sure. Well, we'll see what he can get with this one. Half a mana for it now for Ziggs means about 1,000 mana. Not too shabby. Nian's still the one who's holding the split push, doing what he can. Push towards the mid lane. Impactful does what he can to hold the wave off. Gets a lot of the minions gone, but I think this is actually, wow, very well held. Shield used on the Ziploc. He does burn that all down, but he stays safe running away with the Vault Breaker. Curse Academy completely hold the siege 4v5, or 3v4 in this case.
It's that wave clear from Lucian we talked about. That's their only real tool to execute that type of move. And now Niantanso, he's looking for Chris, but Baby Zeus.
Wow, he's got to pop the Zonias. Can he stay alive in this one? All of Curse Academy is around. Nian still forced away. The tank is not all that durable. Impactful's got to be a bit careful. Flash the way. Baby Zeus goes down. The shutdown goal comes over now. Latman rooted up, nowhere to go. Second kill picked up for Curse Academy. They just keep winning fights.
Just back-to-back fights here for Curse Academy. And look at that. Baby Eater gets rooted and cocooned.
Down he goes. Chris is going to drop turret dagger with a couple of minions around. Why the heck not? It's going to be a tier 2 turret going down. And with the death time is 20 seconds, they can get at least the inhibitor turret as well.
Yeah, St. Vicious is having a really good game right now. He's landing a lot of his cocoons in the late game. Very crucial. Following up off of Dark Bind. So we'll probably see another one here.
Captain Ziploc also in the wrong spot. He was spamming recalls, and they said, thanks, Dark Binding, thank you very much. Inhibitor goes down, and a kill that did not need to be picked up goes towards Curse Academy.
Still Baron ticking on them right now. They're going to actually play it safe, and they're going to go for the blue and the dragon. Get them for themselves. Again, stop Baby Zeus from any chance of sieging this game and get themselves even more gold to just start running away with it even further.
Yeah, I mean, this is turning into a sprint more than a marathon. They're running away rather rapidly at this point. Curse Academy doing great things.
Saints having a good game.
Yeah, and he is 3-6, right? He's doing very, very well in this one.
And the binding into the cocoon there, but the cocoon hits Niantanso because it's Zonia's Ziggs right there. And now they just trail it off. They actually lose 3 members here. 2 members, sorry. One gets out. Niantanso ends up getting away just barely, and then they dive Baby Eater afterwards for the 3rd.
Flamethrower comes out. Actually, Ziggs died in the whole mix of the replays coming out, so another pick. Curse Academy again and again and again, finding FFG in the wrong spot. Captain Ziploc will bring her down for a few seconds. He's not going to be able to flash much of anything. Ooh. There he goes. Finally jumps the wall. Niana's around.
There's Chris.
Here's Chris.
There's the
knock-up come in. Nice in there for ManCloud. The counter roll comes in, but Ziploc not going to do enough. Chris now chasing Latman. In comes St. Vicious as well. And they're just pushing in. Chris will have to aggro away from this one. Now the hook in. The flash by ManCloud. Nicely done there. It's a flashy play. It didn't really mean very much, but you know, that's okay. It looks cool, and that's what matters here in this game. 16-7 now. Only 26.5 minutes in.
Yeah, it's very, very early on in the game. The respawn timers are not as long as you would think, considering the base has just been cracked wide open. And now Curse Academy, they're starting to just go through all these turrets, systematically picking Frank Fan Gaming apart and trying to end the game out. For Frank Fan Gaming, they do have some wave clear, but they're just not getting to that point in their build where they're extremely relevant up against these members who have about 14k gold or more.
We're going to see what happens there. Niantanso trying to hold the team alive. Latman just now respawning. So they had some time of power play, but not any longer. 14,000 gold Curse Academy's lead. ManCloud's still going to split push the top lane, and he does not want to duel in the end. He's going to back away from that one right now, which gives a little more time for FFG to catch up, but there's still a giant item lead.
Oh, he still gets hit by the cocoon. He got clay pigeoned right there.
Oh, man.
In the air, still eats a cocoon in the face and gets locked up.
Well, that's the thing with St. Vicious, is he's 27 like I am. He's so old, he remembers Duck Hunt. He's got that practice in.
Just imagining the dog with the whistle.
Yep.
Good times. But there's really good coordination here. They actually lock up 2. Niantanso takes the lantern off to the side, and then they just start running on the left. The Latman is ditched on the right here. Flashes away, then eventually gets trailed down by the auto attack there.
The only AD he has is from Masteries and Hybrid Benmark.
It was enough.
It's enough.
Doesn't matter, got the kill.
Yep. 35 damage, all you need sometimes.
And there's a huge gold deficit here for Frank Fan Gaming. You can see it just reflected in their builds in the overall too. Niantanso has only completed 1 item, has the makings of the other, and now sitting there trying to duel. And there he goes. He takes the lantern out. Finally, ManCloud, as soon as he finishes that Infinity Edge, it's going to be even more ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100% krill.
Well, Latman trying to hold his turret alive. Chris going to pull aggro. Doesn't even care about the damage
so
output there. Latman's doing what he can. He's trying to kite it around. The Valkyrie's away, but there's a dragon form. Yeah, you can fly. So can I, says Chris. That's another kill picked up.
They both drop fire behind them, too.
It's true. One's blue.
Yes.
Thankfully on the blue side, so it really just is very cohesive.
Went for the thematic champion.
Does anyone ever pick skins based on what team they're on?
No.
I'll bet there's someone out there who does it.
Maybe.
Captain Ziploc goes for the knockup. They're on Impactful, but he's got no health. Got some shield. That's not going to be enough. Another kill goes to Impactful. 7, 3, and 5 on Lucian. They keep on moving forward. Ziggs wave clear. It's not really going to be too much, though. They're happy to keep diving past this one. Mid inhibitor respawning very soon. They're going to clear the minions away on this one. Top lane split push from the jungler. Why the heck not? St. Vicious claims that. Pink ward goes down. Mid inhibitor now under fire. Frank Fan Gaming still in a 4v5. They're very hesitant to defend.
Yeah, in this game, from the first blood has been going in Curse Academy's favor. They just, you know, it's much easier to shot call from ahead. It really is.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Absolutely easier to shot call from ahead. And we saw their shot calling fall apart when they get behind very early. It's harder to shot call from behind, but they just fall apart when it happens. And they didn't put themselves in that situation this game. Frank Fan Gaming, on the other hand, having the complete opposite.
Second attempt for a Baron Nashor, and picked up by Saint.
They're going to go for it.
The dive in towards Nian. Culling hits him a little bit. He's got very low health. Foster Pop comes out. Lantern comes by as well. The dive on in. Chris can't quite claim him. The shields are there and keep Nian alive. He's going to happy with this one now. Chris finds Captain Ziploc. Down goes the Vi. She's got nowhere to go. ManCloud claims another victim. Niantanso dies for his sins of trying to contest Baron against Curse Academy. And these guys are up 18,000 gold. One inhibitor's already dead. It's only 30 minutes in.
They just walked up and stabbed him in the gut there. Looks like it's going to be the surrender coming out here.
Yep.
For Frank Fan Gaming. Yeah.
I would do better Frank Fan Gaming. You know at that point you've got to kind of cut your losses get your mind in a clear state and move on forward. It's actually, I think actually back to Worlds last year, semifinals, Fnatic versus Royal Club. Game 2 is the game that Fnatic won. And Fnatic actually took, so Royal Club was like, by about 50 minutes, they're like, you know what, we lost this game. And they spent the entire rest of the game talking about how to improve for the Game 3 and Game 4, how to turn the series around, and just kind of played it out on autopilot. And it's like, I feel like at a certain point you do the same thing when you're Frank Fan Gaming and say, okay, what are the mistakes? What are we going to do next time in Champs? Like, let's talk this out. Just autopilot the game, whatever. And sometimes games like that, where you start behind, they're not even fully playing anymore. They're using that time to think and discuss strategies and like, okay, we're ready to go.
Yeah, what's going to happen next game? Yeah. When you get to that point, and there's a huge gold lead and gold discrepancy between the teams, 20-7 in terms of kills at the very end there. And Curse Academy played that perfectly. We were talking about how St. Vicious had a really bad game on Lee Sin, going 0-7-1. Turned it around, 4-0-10.
Yep.
He's doing really well for himself today. He's on today, and this is the day that matters. That.
I mean, to be fair, the semifinal mattered a whole bunch as well. But
they would mean the same thing for him coming in.
Sure.
For the most part. Just
means
you want to requalify.
Series 2.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
You want to requalify and have the easiest chance possible at continuing your Challenger Series career.
Yeah, third place plus requalification is usually enough points from what we've seen so far in Spring Series. Yeah. It's usually enough points to get you in a postseason. It's not a very good seed, to be fair, if you go like 3rd, 8th, but you have to say, okay, we've got a real shot at the promo tournament now, and that's a very big one. It makes it a lot less strenuous. You can, I mean, again, you want to do the best you can and get the best seed you can, but that does help the Curse Academy squad. Now they're 1 game away from guaranteeing a 3rd place finish here, guaranteeing top 8 in Series 2, and that's where they want to go for here. So this is the test for Curse Academy is now switching sides, new champ select. Okay, they managed to steal Nian's Yasuo. Can they keep it up?
Yeah, they might have to ban it this game because they usually will pick Nian Tanso's champion first, whether it be Lulu or Yasuo, and set him up and then make the team composition around what he can do. So we'll have to see the order that it comes out here. We didn't get to see the order last time.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that the Yasuo was picked pretty early on.
I feel like that wasn't 10th pick.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been because it was blue side, but I'm just saying it's unlikely it was that way either way. Guys, going to take a quick break, but when we come back, it's time for Game 2 between Frank Fan Gaming and Curse Academy. Frank Fan Gaming needs to pull it back if they want to get a 3rd place finish here. Don't go anywhere. Mating call. Blue Wolf is now his. Latman's got to be careful. He took a full burst of damage. This could be another death, and it is. Too much damage coming out there. Curse Academy making the plays. Nice black shield. Ziploc finds nothing for it. Morgana ulti comes to her buddy Fufu. He's going to get a lot of them down. Wow. He's got to pop the Zonius. Can he stay alive in this one? All of Curse Academy is around Nian. Still forced away. The tank is not all that durable. Impactful's got to be a bit careful. Flash the way. Vivus goes down. The shutdown goal comes over now. Latman rooted up. Nowhere to go. Second attempt for a Baron Nashor and picked up by Saint.
They're going to go for it.
The dive in towards Nian. Culling hits him a little bit. He's got very low health. Foster Pop comes out. Lantern comes by as well. The dive on in. Chris can't quite claim him.